Greetings. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Welcome to this late night Gemini tarot reading for the collective. If you're receiving this broadcast, go ahead and hit that like button. And I hope that your evening and your time these past couple of weeks have been very fruitful, very abundant. Lots of wonderful lessons learned, lots of beautiful time spent. So peace to everyone here. So, we're going to do this for Sun in Gemini. Currently the moon is in Virgo. And I swear this cat was perfectly fine until I hit record. Now he wants to leave. Blame it on the elementals, I suppose. Well, in any case, like I said, I hope you're having a great day. I certainly have been having a great day. We're going to tap into the frequencies and see what the story is. What's the story? What's going on? So peace to all my favorite people. Tian Pomeroy, peace and greetings. Ro Rockin', peace. Void Stranger, peace, greetings. The Digital Alchemist, peace, my fellow cyclomate. Samat, greetings. Alright, so is the audio fine? Let me know. Music too loud, mic too low? You tell me. You tell me. Holy cow. Tam Pomeroy says, my Gemini daughter was born last week. She's got Gemini Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. Wow. Well, you know specifically what kind of energy you're going to get. Or I should say what kind of energy she's going to be displaying. Congratulations, by the way. That's good news. Good news. Vitrify, peace. Yamaika, peace. There we go. Alright, so let's get into this. Settling into the energy of the collective. The collective unconscious. The very, very large egregore. What does the Spirit saith to the churches? Collective message. I see we've got somebody popping out right away. Seven of Swords. Astrologically represented as the moon in Aquarius. Lots of change within a fixed mindset. Interesting. Vitrifly says, how would one get into learning tarot? I just got a Thoth deck, but unsure where to start. Well, look, there are books specifically about that deck, right? Why don't you start here? If you just got the Thoth deck, you might as well go ahead and buy this. This is the Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley. That's going to be your best bet. Purchase the book written by the person who orchestrated that deck. I mean, that would make perfect sense, right? Book of Thoth. Start there. All right. I suppose the cat knows that I'm occupied, so now he's going to be destroying my room. Probably have to put him out of here soon. But in any case, so, collective message. Let's see what we've got here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what this message is. Alright, so, first sentence. Check that out. Check that out. Knight of Wands is a very passionate figure in this deck. We know this, full of energy, full of momentum, full of movement. But let's see what he is surrounded by. This Knight of Wands, one of the most energetic cards in the deck, being surrounded by the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords often tells a story of deception, tells a story of whispers being whispered, or thoughts or plans being constructed behind your back or behind the backs of others. Something in the works behind the scenes. Now, it doesn't, like everything, it doesn't have to be anything bad, but there are works going on behind the scenes, and it seems as if these works are an effect of this cause being stirred up, being riled up. There's a lot of pent-up energy, it seems, that is looking for some way to get out. And those of you with a creative imagination have been engineering certain plans, certain devices, certain ways of releasing this pent-up energy. Now, hopefully, some of these ways are through a creative project of some sort. And if not, then hopefully these plans that you're devising quietly are sound and well thought out. And it does seem that these plans that are being laid, they do have a very highly charged cause, a highly charged intent. But it also seems that there is a level of being grounded here with these plans. So in a way, we've got a lot of focus on what's happening in the mental plane. Perhaps these last couple of months of refortifying your focus, getting back into gear with your spiritual path, working on your shadow work, brushing up on your skills of meditation and working with spirits, etc. Perhaps getting back into the swing of your magic has started to boil up another level of subconscious energy. And now you're thinking of different ways to let that energy out. And I think that this isn't just a subconscious process. This is probably something you've been thinking on for a couple of months. Let's keep going and see the wider aspect of this story. Okay, so the Four of Wands, we know, deals with Venus in Aries, right? So Venus in Aries, taking action towards, we could say, pleasantries, right? The first word that came to mind is towards beautifying. In other words, perhaps in the past couple of months, this energy that's been riled up, you've used towards maybe cleaning up your space or decorating your space or organizing your work area, your living area, your room, your house. Perhaps you've gone through this whole spring cleaning phase again here in the summer. Beautifying, or at least organizing, your current space, Mars and Aries. And that, I would say, is a wonderful thing. There's an old saying that says cleanliness is next to godliness. I think in this case, if you have been one of those who have taken the past 6 months to either get back into gear or to step up your current spiritual path, if you've been one of those who's been reigniting your walk, then this organization and this summertime cleaning and beautifying of your environment is really done in the spirit of making way for more of that inner light to shine through. Again, the quote, cleanliness is next to godliness. I think that some of you are, in a way, tending to your physical space, organizing, arranging, cleaning your physical space, redecorating. And I think that it might be due to the fact that there are more spiritual levels of the self that are starting to awaken. And there are some aspects of either clutter, disorganization, or attachments to things that no longer serve you that need to be removed. I think some of you have been going through that process subconsciously, and some of us consciously. Peace, peace, Framestar Films. Koi Sewell, peace, peace. Star Lion, peace and greetings. So to kind of bring us back up to speed here all the way through, Knight of Wands has appeared once again. An explosion of energy that is seeking direction, seeking a place to go, seeking an outlet, right? And this is an unstoppable type of force. This isn't something that you can just hide away under a rug. This is something that must be expressed, and this is starting to be riled up. This is starting to show its face again. Very similar to the type of energy that we saw in late February, early March. Now this energy that's being riled up right now, seeking an outlet, right? This creative, spontaneous, spiritual energy, as it's being riled up underneath the surface, you might find yourself making plans secretly. You might find yourself engineering, designing, and orchestrating some channel, some outlet for this energy. And this might be something that's rather private. This might be something that you're not actually sharing with other people. You're not actually talking about with those around you. Because it seems like this rising of energy is something very personal to you. Perhaps something very sacred. Or you realize that that the people around you won't necessarily understand this type of energy that's rising in you right now. And like I said, this might be a higher degree of creative energy. This might be the desire to take up a new type of hobby, new type of art form, new type of skill set. And it looks like you have been spending a little bit of time orchestrating exactly how you're going to go about doing this. And I think what might also be attached to that is that perhaps you've been cleaning, reorganizing, or redecorating your environment here very recently in a way to kind of make space, to make room, to clear a pathway for this light. And in a way, a lot of this reorganization, redecoration, this cleaning, a lot of it has to do with cutting attachments to old objects, to old things, possibly clutter, or just things that no longer serve you, things that really can't go with you on this next stage of your development. And as always, this isn't something random. This is most certainly connected to a much larger change that's taking place. A much larger change that's taking place. This is all part of a process that has been in motion for months. And it looks like at this current stage of the game, we're removing the old to make way for the new. That seems to be the theme of this so far. And the end result of this cleaning out of the old to make way for the new is an environment of harmony, an environment of peace, an environment of safety. This is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck, the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, astrologically, would be representing Venus in Virgo. So here we had Venus in Aries, and we talked about that Aries, that focused drive, that forward motion, right? Tending towards the environment, tending towards beautifying, tending towards art and things of comfort, right? And I translated that as maybe you've been cleaning your home, reorganizing, redecorating, that sort of thing. Well, with this card, we have Venus again, but this time it's in the sign of Virgo. And we know that Virgo has a lot to do with scrutinizing the details, of really making sure that all the parts are in order to serve the whole. So not so much looking at the bigger picture, but looking at the individual parts that create the bigger picture. So we can go back to Venus once more. The environment, beautifying, organizing, comfort, right? Those type of things, really tending to the details. I would say that this card sums up this entire reading. This is the energy for right now. Now, I certainly resonate with that, right? Me reading this is certainly a reflection of what's going on with me. But let me know in the chat if this is something that has been going on with you. Let me know if you've been feeling a certain rise of energy that's kind of got you thinking about different creative ideas or plans, or maybe you're working on something in private as a way to express this energy. Maybe this is something that you hold dear to yourself that you really don't feel like sharing with anyone. You don't feel like explaining, or you don't feel like having to convince or whatever. Let me know that if you are one of the ones who have this subconscious need, desire, or inclination to start organizing your space, right? Clearing out some things that maybe no longer are being used, right? Making room, making way for something that you probably don't really fully see yet, but you have a feeling that something's coming through. Let me know if that's you. I do love this card. Honestly, to me, this represents peace, right? Just chilling. There she is, chilling in her castle. She's got everything she needs. Nobody bothering her. Doing her thing. Venus and Virgo. Everything together. Nothing out of place. And also abundance, right? You know, I've been working with Lakshmi a lot for the past few months, and this is certainly a Lakshmi resonating type of card here. So yeah, once again, let me know in the chat if this is something that you've been feeling lately. And stronger these past couple of days. Peace, James Jeremiah. Peace, Fat Tony. Starlion says, recently I've been working with Jesus Christ. I didn't plan it, but the synchronicities led me. Everything comes from God. Everything has two meanings. From The Last Temptation of Christ, 1988. Nice. Stick with it, man. Stick with it. I just pulled the Jesus Christ card from my Oracle deck yesterday. He's sitting on my table right now. Void Stranger says this is spot on. Awesome. Good to hear it. Starline says I definitely have. Even did early spring cleaning 2 weeks ago. Cool. Framestar Film says yep. Awesome. Cerulean Soul says yes. Void Stranger says the vortexes are strong. Indeed, man. Indeed. I don't know about you all, but I've certainly been working with these elementals more than ever. I'm really trying to learn about how they move and what they do and how exactly to work with them. So yeah, when you say vortexes are strong, the way that I'm translating that is new channels of information are opening up, becoming available. New channels of information are becoming available right now. The Digital Alchemist says, yes, dead on with the creative endeavor. Awesome. Again, most of the greatest ideas are born in private, born in the dark. And again, that's what Virgo is about. If you look at how the astrological signs line up with the physical body, Virgo lines up with the abdomen, with the intestines, with alchemy and transformation that's happening in the dark, right? That's the Hermit card as well. This is a light that is only seen by the person holding the torch, right? Patchwork, peace and greetings. Evo 7, peace, my guy. Koisul says, same with the Jesus energy, just in time for summer solstice. Interesting. Tifereth, right. Cool beans. Okay, that is a complete reading right there. I think that is a pretty solid message. I mean, it absolutely resonates with me, and I see that it resonates with a lot of you. I kind of feel like pulling one more though. All right, makes sense. So now here I have the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is astrologically represented by Saturn in Sagittarius. So check this out now. What we have here is there's a calling. There's some type of spiritual upcharge and upswing with you right now. And for some of you, it's manifesting as creative energy. Hell, for some of you, it's manifesting as sexual energy. But there is an upsurge of energy right now. And what it's causing a lot of us to do is to go into our minds and engineer, orchestrate, create different plans or channels or outlets. And it's really something that's being done in private, right? This is something that does not concern the peanut gallery. This is something that is really just between you and this energy itself. And sometimes it's like that, right? Or perhaps it could just be that you don't want anyone else's input to kind of throw you off. That's perfectly fine, because due to the work that you've been doing these past couple of months, right, you're on this ever increasing spiral of ascension. When people talk about ascension, it's not all of a sudden you open your eyes and suddenly you got light beams coming out of your ears and whatnot. It's a gradual process of seeing reality as it is, right? It's a gradual process. It takes time, and there's no rush, right? Because the closer you get to it, the less time starts to be a factor in anything. That's for other people to be worried about. But as you're on this ever-increasing spiral of growth and ascension, you're finding that your environment is starting to adapt. Now you're starting to take charge of that growth process and clear things out of the way to make room for this upward spiral. And as you go up, you've got to get lighter. So you've got to drop anchors. You've got to drop heavy pieces that don't really benefit you, that hold you down, that weigh you down. You got to drop. You have to cut off some of those things. And understand, again, when we talk about the king sets these plans in motion. The queen designs the plans. They're working together. And this is a process that's happening on the mental plane. You're starting to think more clearly. Perhaps you already thought that you were super smart, super intelligent, and had it all figured out. But now you're starting to reach these new levels where you're seeing that there's more, right? There's levels you didn't even consider. And all this is all part of the perfect plan, part of what's been set in motion, hell, maybe years ago for some of y'all, but certainly months ago. Certainly the energy that's been set in motion the beginning of this year. And where you're headed, if you're not already there this summer, is a place of peace, a place of harmony, a place where you can relax and be in a state of harmony for an extended amount of time. Doesn't that sound good? There's always chaos, there's always anxiety, there's always people who need. But you're going to create for yourself, and you're creating for yourself right now, a space where you can be in the most useful and appropriate state so that you can do what you got to do. That's the vibes that I'm getting right now. So while everyone else is having hot girl summer, hot boy summer, whatever you call it, you're working on hangman summer, right? Seeing things from a different perspective with open eyes. No more wasting time. Now, of course, there's an exchange. I don't want to say it comes with a price. I don't want to say there's a cost. I'll say there's an exchange, right? It's not just something that you float into. There's a few things that do have to be worked out, right? There are some things that have to be worked out. But as long as you remember the end goal, as long as you remember where we're headed, it won't seem like so much of an oppressive burden. Checkity check. Does anybody have any alternate interpretations of what we've pulled so far? Any of my aspiring tarot readers or any of my seasoned tarot readers? Do you have anything that you see here that perhaps I might have overlooked? Patchwork says, been having myself an alchemical summer. A lot of self-reflection and self-development. Excellent. Excellent. That is great to hear, my friend. Great to hear. Starlion says, I've taken your advice of speaking to my subconscious mind in the dark before sleep, and it works. I saw results right away. I asked for courage because I was anxious as fuck for this new job. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm glad that you're taking action and testing these things out. I mean, you're right, it does work. It does work right away. That's why I still do it all the time. Congratulations. I hope that things work out for you. As they will. As they will. I hope that you keep that confidence. Anchor it in a place that you can access frequently. Art Quark, peace. Art Quark says, peace and greetings. Rings true to me. I'm revisiting Qigong practices after taking many years break and immediately seeing positive energetic results. That's dope. That's dope. Good, good, good. That energy work, man. Matthew Watson, peace, peace. Uh-oh. I wasn't even looking. I got you, Patchwork. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, for sure. Mostly kind of just chilling tonight, hanging out with my son. But we can most certainly do personal readings if anyone is interested. let's see. All right. Let's do a general reading. Cancer. MC Maestro. Peace, peace. All right, so got a Cancer reading here. Chill Will, peace, peace. That's so strange, man. Your username here popped up in my head a few hours ago, and I was trying to think of what it was. I was thinking of some penguin cartoon from, like, I don't know, Looney Tunes or something like that. Do a general reading here. Focus in. Focus in. General reading for Patchwork. Let's see what the message is. Get that Cupid shuffle going. Tried to jump out. Alright. Uno, dos, tres. Let's see what we have here so far. Aha. You win some, you lose some, but you live. Live to fight another day. Always good news. Okay, all right. So far, I'm getting a story. There was a challenge of some sort. There was a competition of some sort. Perhaps you entered into something. Perhaps there was something about a raise or a position. There was something where you were not the only one who wanted it. And it appears that you came out of this thing successfully. I'm getting the feeling that you're the one holding the swords. 5 of Swords, that is going to be Saturn in Leo. So dealing with Leo, dealing with the ego, dealing with how you are seen and relate to others. Saturn being, of course, discipline, being heaviness, being solidity. Perhaps this was a defining moment for your ego. Perhaps this was something that really stands out in your career. What was this? What the heck? I think the cat unplugged it. Lord have mercy. All right. So in any case, it looks like this competition, this thing where it wasn't just you, you came out successful. And it looks like this has been a splendid opportunity. Most likely something that rings true for monetary gain, but perhaps it could be some other type of manifested physical thing. Let me know how that sounds so far. But of course, this is not the end, especially if this was some type of new position or some type of contest or something like that. With this new level, with this new avenue for yourself, looks like now you're starting to make plans. Just like with that general reading we just did, it looks like you're in a stage now where you're really looking over what's in front of you, analyzing what's going to be the best next step to take. Let me know how that sounds so far, Patchwork. 7 of Pentacles. That's going to be another Saturn, but this time in Taurus. So again, with Saturn being discipline, we can think of Taurus, fixed earth sign. We're going to do heavy symbolism of gardening, right? Tilling these fields, being very consistent with the work, day after day after day after day, being committed, right? So it looks like you perhaps are starting to see things from more of a mature perspective when it comes to the direction that you're taking yourself. Right about now. Temple Magnolia, peace, peace. Okay, all right. Let's see what else we have here. And it also could be that this Five of Swords moment wasn't something that was necessarily very, very recent. It could have been something that happened in the past couple of months. Some sort of change or adjustment that presented a new opportunity to you that caused you to be a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more focused, and thinking about the future in a more holistic, mature way. All right, let's see what else we have here. Lots of rest, a little bit more fighting, and ultimately an inward journey. So it seems that as you have been taking your future a bit more seriously, as you've been taking your plans more seriously, this seems to have had a side effect of causing you to take more moments of meditation and rest. Or it could be you taking time to meditate and resting when you need to has caused you to be more disciplined and more focused. Either way, these two are intertwined. The mature outlook and being able to stop and reflect when it's necessary. And this is important because oftentimes as a younger person, we think that we can just go forever. We don't need to stop. And many times we learn that lesson of how important rest is when it's thrust upon us, when we have to, versus making a sensible choice of balance. Sometimes we learn balance when we're forced into it. But either way, it looks like you're there at this point. And that's a good thing because it looks like you've still got some more things to work out. Some more things as far as what's happening up here with this Five of Swords. Notice both of these fives, and both of them deal with conflict. Both of them deal with conflict. The beginning of this phase that we've entered into here with your maturity and your discipline, it seems that that was ignited with some sort of competition, with some sort of you versus another. And it looks like that energy isn't necessarily over. Maybe not with the same people, maybe not with the same scenario, the same environment, but it looks like that there are a few more competitions, so to speak, in store. And that's all right. That's perfectly fine, because as long as you understand what the bigger picture is, what the long-term goal is, right? As long as you are considering what the long game is, and as long as you understand when to step back and to recalculate, reflect, doesn't matter what conflict is coming your way, because you'll be like Batman, right? You'll be like Batman. You'll know how and what contingency plan to develop regardless of what you're presented with. And that's also one of the skills of the hermit. Being able to analyze. Again, like I said, the hermit is represented by Virgo. Being able to scrutinize the details, see what fits and what doesn't fit. Reach your Batman, your inner Batman.
So what's the scenario?
All right. All right. And of course, Queen of Wands. Understand that after you go through this stage of growth, this stage of development, it's going to unlock an ability within you to be able to make plans in advance. In other words, instead of situations coming up and then you having to deal with them, you'll be able to think ahead. You'll be able to see all the ingredients and people and situations in your life currently and be able to predict and prepare for what may come, right? You'll be able to see things from a much higher level. That seems like it's going to be the reward of this particular challenge right now. So stick with it. Understand that every piece of this scenario is building something within you that you're going to take further on into your life. And it has a lot to do with patience and a lot to do with foresight. A lot to do with patience and a lot to do with foresight. All right. So I hope that you're able to see something here that you can utilize right away. Let me know if that helps, Patchwork. Fat Tony, peace. Fat Tony says, can I send it super chat for a reading? Sure, you can absolutely do that. Okay. Supremacy McCoy, peace, peace. Framestar says, just sent for a general. Awesome. Patrick says, me versus myself and correcting my own thought process while trying to improve every aspect of my own life. I've come to the understanding that everything is a mirror and it starts with me. Absolutely. I think that patience is a big thing for you. Patience. Learn to slow down and really analyze these things. Listen to what moves you. Fat Tony, peace. Thank you. I got you. Okay, so let's see. I've got Framestar, and I've got Maya, is that how I say it? Maya. We got Maestro, and we got Fat Tony. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool. All right, so let's start with Framestar. Framestar said he wants a general reading. Let's do that. Vision, peace. Vision says, I just got done doing the Surya Namaskara and I'm relaxed as fuck. Awesome, awesome. I tell you, I just finished, well, not just finished, but earlier finished my chakra shooting meditation after a little while of not doing it. And man, at one point, I was looking right through my eyelids. I could see my hands in the mudras on my knees. That was very interesting. I found myself having somewhat of a lucid dream, but like half awake, half asleep. I don't know. I think that meditating before going to sleep is very beneficial because it relaxes your body, relaxes your mind, and it kind of preps you. For remaining aware as the body drifts off. So if you're somebody that's still trying to figure out lucid dreaming and astral projection, I would suggest doing about 30-minute meditation before going to sleep. And try to stay awake, of course, but see if that has any effect on you. Thank you, Fat Tony. I got you coming up fourth. All right, and of course, Maya, please send me your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant, if you'd like. All right. So let's see, we're gonna do a general here. Maestro says I've had that before in chakra shooting too. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. He says having trouble with it right now. I took an edible a month or so ago and it did not go well. Pelvic floor when on root chakra fucking hurts. Yikes. But my karma with that exercise in particular is strange. I've had pains before. Good way to start to neutralize that karma, I suppose. All right. Oh, more like this, actually. Yeah, we're good. I think somebody's trying what I'm trying. You stare into the void, it stares back at you. Peace, Mad Bear. Good to see you. Good to see you. I think somebody's looking at me, looking at them. Vision says, do you guys ever find it hard to tell people what you practice spiritually because you secretize different traditions? Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've found that it is much more useful and appropriate to not talk with people about what I do. Because, I mean, what's really the point? It's not like they're asking because they want to try it. They're usually asking out of just, primal curiosity or fear, or, so they can tell their friend group what they saw. That's my answer. I prefer not to. And if I do, I try to keep it extremely simple. Because you got to think, man, like, the information that you have, you had to work for it. You had to earn it. You had to refine your mind to a certain level to be able to receive this information. So by that alone, it isn't really possible to have a balanced conversation with just a rando or someone who doesn't do this on a daily basis. Again, that's me. You might have a different set of reality going on, but either keep it simple or don't even. First of all, don't bring it up, right? But if somebody asks, keep it simple. You got to think, like, what do you really expect to happen here? Oh my God, wow, you do that? Wow, could you teach me, please? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's going to do that. Or like, whoa, like, that saved my life. I can't believe you just told me about that. Like, oh my God, that changes Nobody's going to do that. Like Maestro said, either move in silence or I meditate. All right, frame star. The Chariot. Page of Swords. The Lovers. Well. Lessons learned in mobility. Lessons learned in mobility. With an arrangement with someone compatible. So let's see how this translates. You've been making moves, no pun intended, and it seems as if the direction that you're headed, the decisions that you're making, the things that you're working on currently, seem to be fueling a certain sense within yourself that you are an ever learning, fresh student. In other words, your curiosity is being stimulated. Your curiosity is being awakened. And it's more than likely due to something new that you recently discovered, or some new practice that you've been trying, or this could also be on the mundane level. Maybe a new skill, a new project, a new group of people. Something that has sparked your curiosity has got you moving different, as they say. Moving different. Now, with this Lover's card, honestly, I'm usually not one to speak on relationships. However, I'm getting the feeling that this is more to do with the romantic side of this card than it does with the subconscious mind part of it. You would know the answer to that, but I'm getting the vibration that this has to do with meeting somebody, or connecting with somebody, or being in some sort of partnership with somebody that is helping to spark and fuel this curiosity that's got you on the move. Let me know how that goes so far. It seems like perhaps there is a person that you've met that helps to ignite that curiosity within you, so you can be in this state of learning and absorbing and trying out new ideas and new things. And that's got you lit a fire up under you, so to speak. lit a fire under you, so to speak. Okay, Framestar says for sure, new partnerships. All right. Personally, I love it. Curiosity is a very exciting thing to me, right? Whether it's within myself or within somebody that I meet. I believe that's the Gemini part of me. But in any case, it looks like this particular path that you're moving down, that you're traveling down, it isn't necessarily a new path. This is somewhere that you've been before. This is somewhere that you've been before and certainly have been fallen off the chariot, or at least hit a bump, maybe knocked your head across the top of the car or something like that. This isn't a path that is foreign to you. This is a path that you've been down before, and previous travels might not have been the best, right? So of course you kind of got your guard up. Of course you kind of have your guard up. But the beautiful thing is, you've got a certain level of self-control about yourself. You've got a certain level of self-knowing that you don't let this deter you or throw you off. In fact, you can see that this is most definitely leading you somewhere that is going to be very abundant. We'll say that. Leading you to a place where you can most certainly be proud of the finished product, where you can certainly be proud of what's going to come out of this. Look at this smug dude in front of all these cups. This card is funny also because this guy always makes me think of my son. My son has that face all the time. Hey Johnny, is this you? All right, so once again, you said new partnerships. Okay, we'll go with that. New partnerships, sparking curiosity. That's got you making moves. And by making moves, of course, metaphorically, taking part in new projects. You're trying new things. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're doing certain things fueled by this curiosity and by this connection. Now, of course, there is that feeling in the back of your head that maybe this isn't gonna whatever, but those doubts are not strong enough to throw you off course. Beautiful. In fact, what is actually stronger than those doubts is that you see that this can actually lead to something that'll be very fruitful. It's going to lead to something that you can be proud of, lead to something that you can feel really good about, right? And of course, there is temptation to move on a path different from this. In other words, this isn't your only choice. This curiosity sparked by this relationship, by this partnership, it's put you on a certain path of doing new things, stepping out your comfort zone, but you do know that you have other options as well, right? Now, this can be a great thing because this kind of sense of all or nothing or desperation isn't really here, right? You don't really have that. When you have options, you don't really place all your bets on one, or place it all on one bet, or however you say it. You got options, and this one does look good. You're not letting your doubt deter you. You see that this is leading towards a good place. Right now, you're probably stepping out of your comfort zone, doing things that you may not have done in a while. And that's probably got you feeling, renewed. Got you feeling renewed and sparking and stimulating all kinds of new ideas. Let's put one more. Aha, Page of Pentacles. Again with that youthful type of new energy, right? And in this case, we've got the Pentacles here, which usually points to something material, right? Again, I think that this relates to this Nine of Cups. You probably see this going into a place that can be beneficial to both parties here, or whoever's involved. This can be beneficial to everyone. In other words, this is something that you feel is worth your time, worth your energy. Of course, there are doubts. Of course, you got other options, but you're going to stay the path because there's also something here that's really that's lighting a fire inside of you. That's kind of rejuvenating something, that's re-sparking something. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me know how that resonates, my friend. Maestro says, that's the correspondence I have with that card and the orange creamsicles. Connor Maynard, peace, peace. Framestar says, reestablished partnership. Awesome, awesome. Chill Will says, spot on, Trav. Cool, cool. I'm glad it works for you as well. Maestro says, Framestar here tonight and the new Star Wars show out. Our correspondence for me returning to Buddhism, Taoism. Ah, yes. I don't remember the name of that character that you mentioned before, but I can see it. I see it. Heal yourself with peach soda. Everything speaks. All right. Well, Framestar, let me know how you think of that. Let me know what you think of that. Oh, wow. Framestar says, deal fell through before in the UK, but same company has resurfaced in Dubai with new deal about signing contract. Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Aww. Yeah, I think that whatever is affecting you on this page's level, whatever's lighting that spark in you and giving you that curiosity and that new feeling and all that, whatever this part of the thing is, I think that's really what you need to hone in on. I think that's what you need to hone in on. That's the handle that you have on this machine that you can turn and, you know, amp it up. Whatever this page is. If I look at these cards, these are shining the brightest. Cool. I'm all proud of myself now. Hello. Cool, cool. Awesome possum. All right, so next we've got Maya. Maya says Aries Sun, Cappy Moon. Look at all those horns. All right, I'm already starting to... Did I do a reading for you before? I think I remember this combination. Did I do a reading for you before? Aha, see? I'll be remembering these patterns. Temple Magnolia says, I love how you just said you don't often talk about love. Yeah. Try to keep my life simple. Simple. All right. Temple Magnolia says, from my reading, I guess I have an X on my mind, wondering if there's a potential for us to come together again in the future, or if it's just that potential. Okay, we can do that. We can most certainly do that. I've got my other decks lined up here, but I don't know. This one here's got the elemental shine on it. Elemental shine. Hey, do y'all leave food for the spirits? Like, do you take a scoop off your plate and set it by a tree? Do you throw one of your chicken wings into the wilderness and give thanks? Or is that last bite too important for you? What is a sacrifice? Like, what is a sacrifice? Especially when you're doing ritual work or working with spirits, what is a sacrifice? MC Maestro says, that looks like a lineup of characters you try out on an Adobe Flash game. Man, them Adobe Flash games came clutch when I was working at that call center. I tell you what. And there was always something new. I loved that era. What a simple era. Temple Magnolia says, a whole live chicken or just a leg? I mean, off your plate. Like, if you got, say you ordered 6 wings, and you had this, if you remembered that you wanted to give thanks to your spirits that you're working with, is one of those wings too expensive for you? Do you, or like Patchwork says, do you pour out a libation? All right, let's do this. Is it potential, or is it something serious? Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. All right, I want you to tell me. Yeah, okay, I remember doing this reading for you before. Not this one, but doing a reading for you before. And I asked if you were somebody that was into nature and, you know, enjoying the wild. Starlion says, my Indian neighbor pours out water during her libation to Ganesha every morning. It's beautiful to see. Hey, and guess what? You witnessing it makes you a part of that ritual. Aha, the star girl. Gotcha. Now, if we get that card in this reading, if we get that card in this reading. Fat Tony says, I was wondering, how do you give? Set it by a tree. You do what feels right for you. You do what feels right for you. I'm gonna give you just kind of like a brief overview, but like it doesn't matter what it is that you give. What matters is that feeling behind it, because you got to remember, these entities, they are etheric, they're astral, and they're mental. They're not physical. So in other words, it's not that they're not anchored in by a physical thing. They're going to receive what you have attached to that physical thing. So if I leave a Debbie cake by a tree as an offering to the fairy spirits, of course, in my head, they love the cakes. But it's the amount of focus and energy and love and appreciation and gratitude and all that stuff that you muster up during the act of that giving, right? That's what they're actually feeding off of. See, elemental spirits feed off of the states that you engender. So when you put yourself into a state, that is the elemental spirit existing through you, right? And they're partaking of that. Now, some people have realized that you can present an offering and actually take it within your body if you allow yourself to be possessed by that elemental spirit. So for example, say if I want to give that same cake offering, I could allow myself to be possessed, aka enter a state of channeling with that spirit and eat the cake myself as that spirit. It works just as well. If you know how to put yourself into trance, of course. But how do you give, man? You do it with your heart. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? You can say some words, just like, doing prayer or whatever. It doesn't matter what you give, it's how you give. Like Starlion says, his Indian neighbor pours out water, right? It's the love behind the act. Ooh, MC Maestro says, so Trav, are you saying me paying attention to what others are posting about a specific event gets me involved in the ritual displayed and I can hijack that energy for my own purposes? Absolutely. If you're skilled enough, yeah, you can hijack it for your own purposes. Now, most people are not skilled enough, so they're simply participating in it. But I know you're of a different breed, so we'll go with that. Now, let's answer your question. Look at that. Look at that. This is the knight in shining armor. Let's see how this story plays out. That's a different kind of knight. A different shining armor. All right. So, here we go. Is there potential for you to come together again? Is there potential in the future, or is it just potential? So here's the thing. This individual seems like they have they check off a lot on the list of good qualities, right? They've got a lot on that list that they check off. That is a win. That's a win, right? For sure. But guess what? He's an, or they are an X for a reason. They're an X for a reason. And it's really cool how we got these two side by side, isn't it? Same type of posture, right? Hey, is your ex a Gemini? Is your ex a Gemini? Or are they a Sagittarius? Are they one of those two? I'd be curious to know that. But yeah, this is certainly someone who is very good for you on many levels, and also someone who is not good for you on many levels. The fact that those two are side by side, even the visual similarity is crazy to me. And, on the previous reading, we talked about a sparking of curiosity, right? This might be someone who makes you feel young. This might be somebody who makes, or younger, I should say, somebody who rejuvenates certain feelings and memories and ideas and passions and all sorts of things within you that you probably don't feel often, right? And that might be a big driving factor. Remember what I said on the previous reading? I asked him to pay attention to that driving force, that particular thing that made him feel curious, that made him feel like he's a beginner, like a student. And I see that, at least looking at the energy here, this is the feeling that also kind of pulls you in. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is also the same type of feeling that pulls you in, the sense of curiosity, the sense of being new and fresh and just like, living in this new type of world, right? Perhaps that is the type of energy that you feel when you're with this person. However, we've got this conflict. We got this conflict of interest. There's some kind of competition. There's something going on where you simply cannot agree on. There is no agreeing on this. There's something, and it's probably an idea, a concept. Maybe there's a belief, but there's something here that you clash, and there is no resolution. As you can see, one person's walking away, and the other one's kind of gloating at their stance, at their position in this whole thing. So we come to temperance. We come to temperance, and this is the alchemist. And I immediately got a flash. The flash, and the answer should be a flash to you right now as well. Are you capable of performing the alchemy necessary to make it work? Are you capable of performing the alchemy necessary to make it work? That should be an immediate yes or no. That should be an immediate yes or no. Are you capable of making the alchemy work? Of doing the necessary alchemy to make it work? And I say that because it seems as if whatever this clash is, somebody's not budging. Somebody is not budging. And I don't know if that's you, I don't know if that's him, but somebody's not moving on their stance. And I'm just reading here. Perhaps that was a big part of why things didn't work out. Perhaps. MC Maestro says the wrong Grail cup. Drinking lean instead of Jesus blood. Yikes. Temple Magnolia says that's wild. He's a Sag Ascendant, I think. Cap, Sun, and Moon. I think we both have Gemini Venus. Okay. Ardquark says even the swords look similar. Oh, wow. Okay, thank you, Ardquark. I didn't pick that up. So yeah, even these two look similar. Goodness gracious. Okay, so there's quite a bit of duality here. So let's analyze these just a little bit. Let's analyze these for just a little bit. So on one hand, I talked about this vibrance and this vitality and these fresh ideas and, you know, these things that these concepts that might come to mind when you're with this person, right? And then over here, you've got a clashing of ideas. So there's a lot of mental work going on here. Look at how fluffy the cards are in this one. And look at how scattered and diffused the clouds are in this one. Perhaps there are times when someone gets to play the hero, and sometimes that same person plays the villain. Temple Magnolia says he was kind of depressed and focused on the wrong things, like not the present, idealistic. But we had very similar beliefs and concepts about living life. So the question that came to me was, would you be willing to do the alchemy necessary? Because that is what looks like would be the glue to patch these things back together. You performing the alchemy. And of course, when I say alchemy, I mean taking the different elements of the situation, right? I mean, of course I do. I mean it in all ways, metaphorically speaking, taking the different elements of the situation and reassembling them and maintaining that. It's almost like you are going to be the clay molder and the oven, right? You've got to mold the clay into a certain shape, and it's like you've got to hold it there manually as it slowly heats up, right? And after time, as it slowly heats up and it starts to harden and retain the shape on its own, then you can let it be. It seems like you're going to have to do the work to manually mold this thing into where it's supposed to be and hold it there until it sets. That's the type of work that you're going to have to do. MC Maestro says getting Heath Ledger Joker vibes. probably that jawline. But I can see that. I can see that. And behind it all, right? Behind it all, we've got this Knight of Wands, right? This is the fiery, most passionate card in this deck, potentially, right? And while this can mean a lot of good things, he's going in the direction of the past. He's going back, right? Now, like I said, it's a very fiery, very passionate card, and this can mean a lot of good things. The only downside is that he's moving backwards into the past, not into the future. These two are moving into the future, right? Into the future, we've got a lot of good things, and we got some things that may not be so good. And as we know, right, death does not always just mean, oh, it's gonna die. Death means major transformation. Major transformation. Now, with the element of your alchemy applied, this major transformation could be exactly what's needed. Or if you're not suited to do that work, you might just be moving backwards until this flame burns out. So I think it all really depends on this alchemy here. One foot on the water, one foot on the land. Juggling, balancing. Taking an active role and setting things into place. Like I said, it's like you've got to mold this clay jar, this clay vase, and you've got to kind of hold it because it's still soft, it's still malleable. You got to hold it until it sets on its own. This isn't something that's just going to magically fall into place. This is going to take an effort. This is going to take an effort. And if you're willing to do that alchemy, then by all means, strap yourself in and do the work. But if this is not something that you're prepared to do right now, perhaps you're just going to be moving backward until that flame burns out. Now, I don't like to tell people what to do, but I love to suggest. My suggestion is to really analyze if you are prepared, willing, and capable of holding that clay vase in place until it sets. Until it sets. Temple Magnolia says, I felt like the one doing all the work and the outside pressures were way too much. I had to let go of it. Now I'm feeling more stable, working on my own stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by that temperance. Doing all the work until the mold sets itself. Now I don't think this is a doing all the work forever. I don't feel like it's that. I feel like this is someone who you have to elevate until they get up on your level. Now, everybody doesn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people do, sometimes you don't. As MC Maestro said, what doesn't kill you makes you stranger. But now, 144, Magnolia Street, I seen through the window of that house. Oh, is it over? Oh, no, I have two more to do. Two more. All right. Hope that was insightful for you, Maya. Cool. Cool beans. Poison ivy. Poison ivy. Ace in the place. Peace, peace. She crazy as a daisy. You know, MC Maestro, speaking of what you said as far as taking part in the ritual of observing, I've stayed off of social media quite a bit lately, and I can most definitely see a massive change in myself and the type of thoughts that are bouncing around in my head. And I don't know if it's increasing or what, but man, Instagram is extremely sexualized. And I don't mean like my home feed, because obviously the home feed is people you follow, but when every single time I go to the little where you search for new stuff, immediately titties and ass and sexually themed content. And I wonder if it was always like that, or has it been increased? Because I tell you, man, we may think of ourselves as sophisticated creatures, but we still run on a very primal operating system, and certain things affect us before we have a chance to logically process it. And depending on how we're being affected on a regular basis really determines the seemingly random thoughts and behaviors that pop up in our heads. Now, like I said, I know on my main feed is people I follow. That we get that, but on that search page, man, that's some stuff that I do not search for at all. And I can only imagine that, if you're inundated with that on a daily basis, like, it's literally reducing you to your most primal elements. And those higher faculties don't really get enough prana because you're continually being pulled down to your lower chakras on a regular basis, every single day. Habit forming, right? As if the validation wasn't addictive enough. Temple Magnolia says 144 Magnolia Street. What the fuck? 144 is a confirmation number for me. Wow. Yellow. That's really cool. Shout out to Allah Rakbar. Willie James Huff, better known as Funky Chicken, as Allah Rakbar. Hello. Next I have MC Maestro. Matthew Watson says facts, just like Facebook. Shit, I don't even step foot in Facebook no more. Damn that. Ain't nothing on Facebook for me. Bad Guy Rob says you should see Twitch. No, I should not. And I'm trying to keep it simple, man. I'm trying to keep it simple. You can call me lame or whatever you want, but I'm trying to keep it simple. I want to stir up as little karma for myself as possible. I'm really trying to harmonize and neutralize this thing as much as I can before I go. I see the effects of it already. Because, I mean, once you've done it a little bit, you've done it all, really. Okay. Patrick said, thank you, Patchwork. Patrick says, I think it's always been like that. It's just we're becoming more self-aware. I suppose. I mean, and It sucks because I did enjoy using Instagram for communication with people, but if I want to see titties and ass, I'll look for it. I don't need it shoved in my face all day, every day. Abba says, hi, I'm on a quest to make people's day, and I'd like to say you look like a very nice person. Aw, thanks. I'm wondering how you can see me. Patchwork says Twitter X is even worse. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't use it. It's not the only reason why, but... Okay, alright. Let's get to this. Fat Tony, you are up next. That Scorpio at? Rack bar. Oh, where you meet the Georgia Bulldogs, you're gonna feel the bulldog bite. Matthew Watson says they've become succubus sites now. Elementals feeding. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you, man. And here's the thing. Like, I made that video about sending spirits through the screen. But look, it's as simple as when you observe an elemental and you enter the state where it exists, you introduce it into your reality. And the more that you entertain that state, the more that you feed that elemental. Now, it's not a bad thing if that's what you want, right? Because there are elemental spirits that you do want, and then there's some that you don't want, but that's entirely up to you. You got to be able to recognize the difference, though. The elementals manifest in your reality as the states that you are in. And remember what the gold book said. We are in trance at any given time. So put two and two together and think about free will. Also think about attachment. You are not the body. All those other things. It all ties in together. It all ties in together. Patrick says, I only go there for memes, but can't be there long. Always someone trying to promote their OnlyFans. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's do it. Maestro, did you have, was it general? Okay, you said I have something on my mind, but if it comes out, it comes out. All right, let's do this. By the crimson bands of Sitarak. I invoke thee, the bornless one. work. That boy hard at work on something quite beautiful. And he ain't playing no games. He ain't playing no games. So, as usual, my friend, it appears that you have been very diligent, very hard at work, crafting something. You've been busy, quite busy. I'm not so sure that there is an alternative state for you. But you've been busy, and I think that this is something that certainly relates to massaging our dear Prakriti into giving birth to something useful and appropriate. Of course, right? That's the only thing to work on. But it seems that you're doing this at a certain level that may be bordering on the outside of the circles of time. Seems like you are pulling in some things that are not native to this place. Seems that you might be pulling in some forces, some patterns, some currents. You might be tapping into something that's either been long buried or, what's the word? I want to say rare, uncommon, right? We can say uncommon, rare, mythical, legendary. Seems like you're tapping into something that isn't traditionally tapped into. Right? Now, what's that all about? Now, while most people might do this for power, domination, it seems like an incentive for you is very much a similar incentive to my own, which has to do with creating a reality of harmony and peace around yourself, of creating a reality of stability, and generally being unbothered by the nonsense, right? It seems like you're crafting something, working with something that probably isn't something that you found in a book, probably isn't something that you've seen a video about. This might be something that you've channeled. This might be something that you have intuitively divined. And in a way, it's almost like you're working in the dark. It's almost like you're kind of playing it by ear, right? And I think that's where this Fool card aspect comes in, right? Lovely. So it seems like you're tapping into something that hasn't been either tapped in before by you or something that isn't commonly seen, right? And it is working. It is working because you're hitting this Prakriti thing from an angle that is outside of your normal pattern. And it seems like the intention here, it seems like the central desire here is for stability, harmony, peace, right? Now, this is something that happens in stages, and I think that you've become aware of that this is something that happens in stages. And you understood going into this that this would be an arduous task, yet you have still decided to be consistent with this, and that's great. That's great, because that consistency leads to locking in a pattern, setting that clay into a mold, union, yoke. Temple Magnolia Have a good night. Thanks for joining. Yep. I'm going to go with the metaphorical sense of the Lover's card for you. I'm going to go with the metaphorical sense. You would know the answer, though. Let me know how we're doing so far. I feel like you're tapping into something intentionally that you haven't used before. And this might be something that you're channeling straight from the beyond. This might be something that you are kind of just playing by ear. But it doesn't seem like this is something that is written in a book or derived from some lecture. This seems like something that you've either put together, something you have put together yourself, and it's like you're pulling it in from a space that you don't logically, rationally see. And of course, no matter how much we massage Prakriti's weary feet, we keep being led back to this place of considering just how important non-attachment is. This place of non-attachment, this place of going within, separating from the outside world and the people and culture. Perhaps, no matter how much we manipulate Prakriti, it never quite gives us what it is that we found on the inside. MC Maestro says, I see the Fool as me going back to Wu Wei, non-resistance, but also using NLP in an efficient manner with Shiva and Buddha as models, also deciding how to operate in the world. Shiva, unconditioned consciousness. Crafting a microcosm as well. I can see the toil. Macrocosm, microcosm vibes here. And I wonder, when it comes to crafting this new world, just how big is that Big Bang? Just how hot does the magma boil? Just how thick are the clouds before they settle? Just how violent is the surface before it finally cools off? How many trials and error have to be processed before finding the winning design? the winning avatars, the lasting impressions. How much patience is to be found within the cosmic memory, or hell, within the Earth's memory for that matter? And from a memory as vast as Mother Earth, how much of a bother really is war? How much of a nuisance really is conflict? It's kind of funny how we talk about, oh, we're hurting the earth, we're hurting the environment, we're destroying the planet, completely forgetting the fact that we're only, the human race is only a blip on the surface of this magnificent eternal creature. What is a war? What is a fight? What is the churning of the ocean and the bursting of the volcanoes and comets peppering and pelting the surface? What is a tsunami, an earthquake, a hurricane? What are these disturbances to Mother Earth? Is this the final product? Is this the perfect rendition? MC Maestro says, shit, just got an idea. Excellent. 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 Five, Gibera. Also Saturn in Leo. MC Maestro says there's always processes going on to act as fuel for a refined, calculated process. Always. Always. And again, speaking of fuel and process, the Hermit makes another appearance. Virgo, inner alchemy in a secret place. Transformation in the darkness. Process is always happening behind the scenes. None of us use our thoughts to convert food into fuel, to push the remnants of the stomach through the intestines and siphoning out the useful and separating the inappropriate. None of us control that. We don't even know that it's happening, and it's damn near always happening because we have access to DoorDash and Uber Eats. Snacky, 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 snacky all the time. Fuel always being processed every second of every minute of every moment. A day. A day. Okay. So I hope that is information that you can utilize to further you along the path of your experiment, of your lesson, of your development, of your creation Mr. Fat Tony, are you with us? Are you with us, Mr. Fat Tony? And Fat Tony will be our last one of the night. Mr. Fat Tony. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more specific. Alright, so it seems like you are very likely Sun in Cancer, Moon in Capricorn. The Destroyer, peace and greetings. Peace and greetings. Okay. It's very possible that your ascendant is Libra, but what we know for certain is that your sun is Cancer, and it's a high chance that your moon is Capricorn. So, Starline says, why'd you choose the color red as your thumbnail today? Actually it was automatic because I'm using a different program now. I'm still, getting this thing to work. It just logged in and did that automatically. I'll change it once this is over. But I didn't realize it was red. Why, is that something for you? Glory, glory! Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Does anybody remember the movie Howard the Duck? Howard the Duck? I promised my son that I would show him that movie tonight. So that's what we're going to be watching, Howard the Duck. When I was a youngin', I thought it was really cool. I don't really remember the story, but I'm excited to watch it again with him. Whoa, Maestro says first MCU movie. Never seen it though. I forgot it was a Marvel movie. Hey Johnny, Howard the Duck is the first MCU movie before the Avengers and all that. He's more interested in his YouTube right now. Fine, so am I. All right, let us perform the final ceremony of this ritual, or I should say the final ritual of this ceremony. All right. Now, Tony, is this a general reading, or did you have a specific question? I'm feeling it's general, but let me know if you had a specific question or if this was general. Rob the Destroyer says, have you watched Duckland Duck? I don't think I've heard of Duckland Duck. All right, general. Cool. Let's do it. Baby, we can do it. Take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. That used to be one of my favorite cartoons. Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. All right, here we go. Five of Wands makes a repeat appearance, and so does the Hermit, and so does the Nine of Pentacles. Man, so looks like we've got our recurring characters here. How about this? Maybe I'll do it manually. How about that? There we go. All right, so we start this off with the Five of Wands. And as you recall, the Five of Wands is represented by Saturn in Leo. We're dealing with a conflict. We're dealing with different interests fighting for attention. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a process happening within, right? Many times, this is something that's happening between different people in your life, right? A disagreement. But I'm going to say that this is happening within, mainly due to the proximity of these two cards. We got the Hermit, which we all know that the Hermit is somebody who's walking the path by himself because he realizes there is only him. Right? And he's only going to find the answers that he desperately seeks by separating himself from the noise and paying attention to his inner light. Right? Paying attention to his inner light. Now, I think that for you, this is not necessarily a painful journey. In fact, you just very well might be at the place in your life that is the most comfortable to make this journey, right? Some people get the pull to make this journey while they're still in the thick of culture and being a part of this and that and everybody trying to get along, to be along, whatever, trying to be something, right? I think that you might be at your life where you already have achieved a level of stability, a level of comfort, a level of harmony with your surroundings. So you're not really struggling and fighting the outside. I think that there's a conflict of interest on the inside, and this is probably due to the fact that you started to alter your pattern as you look within. As you look within, it looks like you started to alter your pattern. And as you shine this light inward, instead of letting yourself be distracted on the outside, as you shine this light inward, what you're coming to find is that, whoa, there's beliefs, there's thoughts, and there's behaviors that I can't get behind anymore. That I just, this ain't me anymore. The stuff that I do simply because I've just been doing it. Like literally just habits, just because, for the sake of being habits. And you're seeing that now because the light is shining from the inside out versus from the outside in. See, when the light's shining from the outside in, everything blends together and you just think everything is everything. But when that light is shining inside out, now you can see that there's some pieces of this puzzle, there's some parts of this painting that were not originally there. You see that they don't have roots in the core when the light's shining from within. You see certain parts and pieces that don't have roots in the core. And since you're able to see that, you're now in a position to start separating those things, to start cutting those things away. Now, like I said, you're in a good position because it appears that at least in your environment and your physical aspect, you're at a certain place of harmony, a certain place of peace, a certain place of balance, we can say. So what that means is you can start making these changes without disrupting a whole lot on the outside. Most of this conflict is happening on the inside, not the outside. That's great. Speaking of the outside, this Five of Pentacles means that there is somebody that is feeling like they're being left out in the cold. Perhaps you've already started taking action on this, right? Seeing what was on the inside, seeing from the perspective of the light shining out within you. Perhaps you've already started doing that and started to slowly cut things off and remove certain things and certain people. And perhaps there's somebody that's feeling like they're left out in the cold. Perhaps there's somebody that feels like, damn, you don't talk to me anymore. We don't do this and that. We used to be, what's going on? Perhaps there's somebody who doesn't understand your journey and they're taking it personal right now. And that might be something that's kind of pulling on you. Wheel of Fortune. And this is a card of karma and how it turns and how it turns. This is all a process of your karma turning. What I mean by that is all of us who step foot on this path, we start to accelerate our karma. What that means is that most everyone else is just going on their autopilot path. And that's perfectly fine. They're supposed to. But when you start the spiritual path and you start actually changing these patterns, what happens is that wheel of autopilot starts moving faster, right? Because everyone's living on their autopilot life in order with all the rest of existence. But when you get on this path, where's this path leading to? This path is leading to liberation from this matrix. So in order for you to finish the path of getting off the wheel, it has to start moving faster and spinning faster and burning karma faster, right? So in other words, when you start this path, you start burning lifetimes of karma. You start burning up all your built up autopilot reservoirs that you have in store for the rest of your incarnations. You start that process. That's why things start to happen when you first start getting into new levels of spiritual work. You'll see a lot of people start this and then all of a sudden they run back to church because, oh, it's bad luck and, oh, these demons started destroying things in my life. But no, you got to understand, that's that process of karma accelerating, burning all that stuff off, getting it out of your system so that you can continue with this phase. Seems like there's a person who's feeling like they're being cut off, or it might not be a person. Perhaps there's a how do I put it? Maybe a group of people or maybe some. I'm getting the vibes that whatever it was that you were doing and you're not doing anymore, the vacuum is felt. Your presence not being there is being felt. I'll put it that way. Whatever the things are that you started to separate from, Your presence is most certainly being felt, not there anymore. But again, like I said, this is all part of this development process. That's what the Wheel of Fortune represents, the turning. And it's also represented by the planet Jupiter, which represents abundance, accumulation, expansion. And that's what's happening here. You're expanding off of the, how do I put it? You're expanding beyond the life that you used to live, the person you used to be, as we all do once we step onto this, right? I remember the person I was before really getting into this. I was searching and trying hard to fit in, right? I looked ridiculous in trying to dress like 3-6 Mafia and whatnot. Right? Whatever the different fad was that I tried, none of them fit because I wasn't supposed to be on any of those paths. And now that I've been able to expand my awareness beyond who I used to be, I can see I was just looking for something, for anything, to make me feel like I belonged. But the whole thing is, I don't belong here, and I had to accept that. The only way you can accept things like that is by expanding your awareness to see, you know what, there are some paths that most people don't walk. There are some paths that are solo. There are some paths that are required to be walked by an individual. And hell, maybe it's you that's feeling left out in the cold. Maybe because this is a solo path, right? Based off all that I just said and your own experiences, maybe you're the one that's feeling like you're left out in the cold. Maybe you're the one that's feeling like because you were expanding so quickly, so widely, there's not really anyone to connect with on this level, right? Perhaps it's you that's feeling like you're left out in the cold. And I get it, right? And I want to say, if that's what it is, if it's actually you that's feeling left out in the cold, understand that it may feel that way, but that's not how it is. I mean, as you can see, you're literally in a place where there's so many of us who are going through this, who've gone through this, and are still persisting because we found something that's way more important than, and I'm not even going to say way more important. We found something of substance, right? And that substance is more valuable than running back to whatever the hell it was that made us temporarily feel good. This last card is the Seven of Pentacles. And this is a card of diligence, of hard work, of focus, of persistence, of continuing, right? See, his crops are not fully ripe just yet, but they're about to be. They're getting there. They're not fully ripe just yet, but they're getting there. And understand that this is a strong metaphor for you, right? At this current level. And here's the thing about farming, right? It happens in cycles. You plant the seeds, you tend to them, they grow, you reap them. You take the ones that you're going to use to plant some more, and the cycle repeats, and you've been through this cycle over and over and over and over and over. You've been through this cycle. And right now you're at a point where things are ripening. They're ripening, and you're about to reap a harvest. They're ripening. It's not your first rodeo, obviously, right? This is something that you've been through already on another level. It would be wise to identify the patterns that are happening right now, right? It would be wise to identify the patterns, because look, each one of these feelings here, you felt before. You felt conflict before. You felt being, having to walk on your own. You felt being in a place of harmony, peace, balance, just chilling with yourself, just by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You felt that. You felt being left out in the cold. You felt being the one that shut somebody off. You felt all these things before. You felt expanding outside of whatever role that you were assigned to, right? And you've certainly felt waiting for the harvest to come through. So it would be really beneficial to you to identify these patterns, because they keep happening in your life. You're going to continually go through a cycle of planting and reaping, planting and reaping. When you can identify what stage you're in, it helps you to be more comfortable as you walk this path. And it helps you to predict also, you know what I'm saying, what to do, what's useful and appropriate to do right now versus what's not useful and appropriate to do right now. Let me know if this is making sense. Let me know if this resonates with you. Because check it out. This guy, you know what? All of these, with the exception of these two, all of these have appeared already. And look, this is the end result. And see, this is what I love about the nines. Like I said, this was my favorite card earlier, right? The nines actually represent the finished product. The 10s represent starting over again. And look at this 10 right here. The 10 represents starting over on the next phase, the next cycle, right? As you can see with the wheel, the spiral. The 10s represent, okay, now it's time to start over on the next level. The 9s are actually the completion, right? So you got the 9 of Pentacles, which is completion on a very sensual, physical level. And the 9 of Cups, which is completion on an emotional and astral level. And this guy is very proud of what he has in stock, right? He's proud of his achievements. Look how smug he is, right? He's reached a certain level that he can really just kind of sit back and be proud of what he has. And this is where this is you once the harvest is reaped, right? Once the harvest is fit, because you're almost there. Once it's reaped, this is you. Right? It's going to be the completion of an emotional astral cycle. So I identify what you're going through emotionally right now and understand that you're on the cusp. You're on the very edge of it. Right? Thank you, Ardquark. Ardquark says, seems like a lot of earth energy trying to get unstuck. Yes, thank you for that. A lot of earth energy trying to be liberated, right? Trying to expand up into these spiritual aspects. So perhaps there's something that is happening with you emotionally that needs to be paid attention to, right? Identify what cycle is going on with your emotions right now. Because that's going to be an indication of how some of this trapped up physical energy is going to be liberated. You know, call it crazy, but perhaps see if you can work with some of the earth elementals to help you release some of this energy that's trying to evolve. And when I say work with earth elementals, I mean simply go out in nature and just start talking, right? Start talking to the spirits of the trees and the rocks and all that other stuff. Maybe ask them how, to show you how, I should say, to liberate some of this stuck earth energy. I mean, who would know better? And this isn't necessarily something you're going to sit, you know, obviously, but I'm just saying this. This isn't something you're just going to go outside and talk and expect something in the trees to yell it back at you. More than likely, it's going to come to you through a dream, or it's going to come to you through a random idea that you're just going to suddenly have. And when I say it comes to you, it's going to be something like something to do, something to take action on, right? Like in my collective reading I did at the very beginning, you might start getting the intuition to start cleaning up and redesigning and throwing some stuff away. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just start mopping all the floors or whatever, or, you know, vacuuming. You just might have a feeling to open up the windows. Go outside and ask, right? Ask these nature spirits and see what comes to you when it comes to you, and then do it. And watch the transformation, because it's symbolic. It's symbolic. It's not going to be a literal thing. It's going to be something symbolic. Let me know how this resonates with you. Arquark says Venus, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter in Gemini right now. Yeah. Somebody mentioned that at the very beginning of the stream. So how perfect at the end as well. He says that now is a good time to communicate with anything you want. Yeah, like I said, I've been working with these elemental spirits consistently all day. All day. And I'm listening and I'm learning these patterns. I'm learning how to receive this information. It's definitely coming through. So now is a good time to step outside and do it. And remember what I said also, they manifest as states, right? So if you suddenly shift into a mood where, you know what, maybe I need to do XYZ, that's the presence of an elemental. That's how they communicate with you. Fat Tony says, back me on the wall, but sometimes that's the best way to fight. You can't get hit from behind. True. My brother says something similar. So yeah, I understand. I understand. Like I said, my brother said something similar. I seen him do it. I seen him come out on top with that same strategy. So hey, that might be where you do your work. That might be the best way that you do your work. Find your particular rhythm. Veronica, peace. Love you, Veronica. I hope you're having a great evening. Good, Johnny? Good? Okay. Fat Tony says, competition makes me better, and what don't kill me makes me strong. Absolutely. And that's how we open up this whole reading. This conflict, this competition, this battle of who deserves to get the shine, etc., etc. But understand that the shine is not coming from outside in. Remember, it's coming from inside out. That's the path of the hermit. The shine, the light is coming from the inside. These other folks, these other influences fighting for your attention, it's all looking for the shine on the outside. Find that peace, find that stability, find that harmony within your own environment, within yourself, right? You may feel like you're left out in the cold, and other people may feel like you're leaving them out in the cold. That's fine, because this is a personal development, personal journey, the hermit, right? Personal. Oh, wow, I didn't even realize that. Like I said, the 9s are the completion. Look at that. All these are 9s, right? All these are 9s. You got 2 5s here. So there's a conflict of energy and a conflict on the material plane as well. The Five of Pentacles, that is Mercury in Taurus. Okay, so yeah, Artquark said a lot of pent-up earth energy. That's exactly what Mercury in Taurus is. Yeah. So yeah, you got a lot of nines here. This is a time of completion of a cycle for you. This is a time of completion of a cycle, right? You're almost there. Those fruits are ripening. This is the completion, right? See it through. See it through. She's chilling in her own energy, in her own space, enjoying the vibes of peace, right? 9. This is another solo individual doing his own thing, walking his own path. Another 9. He's by himself, happy, right? Look, he's showing off what he's collected, right? He's got something to show for it, right? That's what's happening here. All these 9s, completion of a cycle, but this is one where you stand by yourself, all right? All these 9s, this stuff, and again, all these patterns, they occur for a reason. This, because that's the message. That's the message. The patterns are the message. Patchwork said, hey, some of those cards came up in my reading. Yeah. All of them except for 2 came up. Ardquark says, Jupiter trying to show up and give you that push. Yeah, what is 9 of Cups? 9 of Cups, okay, that is Jupiter and Pisces. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Ardquark. So yeah, you got the Jupiter expansion happening here. This is a solo journey, and that's where you're going to be strongest, by yourself, right? It's almost time. Just see it through. Let nature do its task. Let nature do its task, right? Nature knows how to handle this kind of thing. You have patience. You work on yourself. All right? Right. All right. I'm glad that I came on tonight. I almost wasn't going to, but I'm glad that I did. This is a good reading. These were good readings. I needed to hear it. I think it was helpful for some of you all. Now I'm going to go watch some movies with my son. He's been waiting patiently. Good kid. Good kid. All right, everybody. So hopefully you were able to gather something from these readings, right? Whenever you tuned in, hopefully you heard something that resonated with you, something that you can take and utilize right away to start bringing some balance, some harmony to your life, to start achieving the things that you want to achieve and getting rid of the things that you don't want, right? That's what time it is. That's what time it is. All right, everybody. I should be seeing y'all tomorrow. Talk some more about some of this elemental stuff. And we'll speak on the etheric plane, right? How to work with these energies. Hey, let me know if you guys ever heard of this. It's my birthday coming up. I want a new phone for my birthday. You guys ever heard of somebody doing a GoFundMe for like a birthday present? Is that weird? You think I should do it? I want a new phone for my birthday, so I'm thinking of doing a GoFundMe. Is that an abuse of GoFundMe? Like, is that what you can use it for? You guys ever seen anybody do that before? So my current phone won't live stream anymore, so I kind of have to get a new one. Be a nice birthday present, though, seeing as to how my birthday's coming up in a few days. You guys won't cancel me if I do that, will you? Matthew Watson says all the time. Okay. Masha says, I've seen some sorry ass shit on GoFundMe. You good? Cool, cool. All right, then. Well, we're gonna go watch the first MCU movie. Star Lion says, do it, champ. You do a lot for the community. You help grow our spirits, so for sure. Cool, cool. Oh, I missed that. Arquark says Mercury in Taurus and Venus in Virgo both have to struggle in those signs to make it happen, but they have mutual reception, so they can help each other find the way. Okay. So that was the 9 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles, right? Yeah. Cool, cool. I'll remember that they are reciprocal. All right. Well, y'all have a good night. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here. Again, like I said, I hope you got something from this that you can utilize. You know, if nothing else, perhaps I have inspired a very helpful state for you. Think about it. Lovely, lovely. Happy Wednesday night. Rest well. Have peace. Thank you all. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. I love you all. Peace.